life. It is my pleasure now to invite Siddhesh, who is a UNCCD land hero. We both work in agroforestry, around research in agroforestry. So can you tell us more from your perspective what you want to bring to this COP?
Hi everyone. I'm Siddhesh. I'm a farmer from India. Thank you so much UNCCD for providing me this opportunity to share a stage with very high level people. And being a land hero, it is my absolute pleasure to share a stage with former president and our land ambassador, Tarja Halonen. I stand here today as a farmer, not to share the statistics, but to share the stories that is rooted in our soil. I grew up in a small drought-prone village in India, and where I have seen the devastating impact of the climate change and how it has been destroyed the livelihoods of small and marginal farmers. And I was always wanted to be a farmer and to take care of the Mother Earth. But my father, he never wanted me to be a farmer. So he wanted me to be an engineer. I completed my engineering, and during the engineering internship program, I was testing the soil of my village and 10 more villages, and in which I realized that our soil is getting degraded. The carbon level in the soil is dangerously low, and we need to take the action. So I became a rebel in my community and go against why they are not allowing me to be a farmer. I started traveling villages to villages, talking to many farmers, old farmers, young farmers, what they have been going through. And collected a wisdom of the knowledge that there were some climatic event which was happening in their areas, but the frequency is too high in this time. But they had solutions. But during some few decades back, somebody introduced us the chemical farming practices which will get the good income. But unfortunately, we have been destroyed our Mother Earth in a couple of decades that we have been using these chemicals on our farmland. And then I collected this knowledge from the old farmers who were doing the practices, and this knowledge with the innovative technology, we built some models and did a pilot in my village with the 1 acre of a farmland. That pilot, which is improved the soil quality in just first 3 years, almost doubled 1.2% of organic carbon to the 2.4%. But the very important part is it helped to increase the income of the farmers almost 4 times. And now we have been monitoring like how much carbon sequestration has happened in that farmland. And every year it has been sequestering almost 8 to 10 tons of carbon. So we got a very good model, we got very good intervention, which can be scaled if we provide the appropriate support to the farmers. I collected all this knowledge and the data and the sharing and designed a training program and involved the farmers from the different communities and discussed about these solutions and implemented the pilots in almost 40 villages. Like we have been this pilot implemented, and most of the farmers are observing that and really want to implement these farming practices on their farmland, and which has been helping that observer mechanism like ripple effect, and most of the farmers are wanted to get a support and implement this farmland, these agroforestry farming practices on their farmland so they can convert their degraded land into a sustainable ecosystem and sustainable land through the agroforestry. And now we really wanted to involve, because we, being from a young generation and like the challenges that I face, most of the youths are facing the very similar challenges. Like their parents are not allowing them to work in the sustainable agriculture. They are not allowing them to fail even if there is some challenges, if the soil goes into the shock, if the production is low or the income is low. But at least let's do some experiments. So we started building a framework by implementing this model in a community, and this framework we are educating and providing the training to the new youngsters so they can implement this framework in their community and improve the degraded farmland in that community. So all these frameworks I have been working for last 6 to 7 years, and this framework will be ready by end of this year, and we will be providing a program for the youngsters where they will be trained in a 1 year long program, and which will be implemented so they can use this framework to implement the same program to implement in their community as per their climatic conditions, the soil conditions, water conditions, and the farmer's mindset. because that's the very one important to shift their mindset from those degraded farming practices to convert it into a sustainable, thriving ecosystem. And we are getting very good success stories from our land, from our farmers that has been very good resilient against the climate change impact and good ambassadors for the sustainable food systems. And I'm able to continue this by saying the land is calling us, but we have to, it's not for the pity, but we have to take the action. And we should be taking the action by empowering the youth, farmers, and the women in the community by providing the appropriate support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing, for the courage to continue to be a rebel and inspire even more, and to be able to call out some of these unspoken realities of why we don't have enough youth leadership. How many times we argue with our parents about the work we do and try to convince them, and you don't, and you continue in spite of it all. But also the reminder of the ways in which we've forgotten our own solutions and stories of resilience, and the work that you did to go back and figure out how can we recapture this, and then how do I now invite my community to give me the freedom to experiment and create my own solutions. Because that is, youth can only be the force of creative energy for the future if we're allowed to experiment. So how do we really do that? These are great lessons I'll take forward into the panel conversations. Please join me in thanking our lovely ambassadors and heroes of UNCCD. Brilliant.